Well, good morning and welcome to the Biz Kids Hub. Today we have an interview with Alexa and Sophia. And did I say Alexa right?
Yes.
Okay, good. I just want to make sure I did. We even practiced before and I thought I messed it up. They are with Fair for Everyone, and they've been doing some of the Biz Kids events over the last year, maybe year and a half. And we just want to kind of get their feedback on how things progress for them. What this format is for is letting kids know what the process was for them to start their business. And so we want to help them. This will help them along the way, hearing what other kids did and figuring out the process of entrepreneurship. So what I always like to start with, and I forgot to tell you guys this up front, is I like to hear your 60-second pitch on what the business is. So I'm going to let each one of you do a 60-second pitch and see if it's any different and see how you guys approach it. So who wants to go first?
I can go first.
All right.
So, hi, I'm Sophia Garcia. I'm the co-owner. Alexa is also the co-owner of our business. We are Fair for Everyone. So, Fair for Everyone is a jewelry business. It strives to bring out different and trending aesthetics. A lot of the jewelry businesses out there don't focus necessarily on like teen markets or what maybe young adults might like to see, especially in Naples. So, we like to bring those out. Not only that, but we collaborate with many handmade local artisans that we know to help them sell their stuff and sell their own products. Over the last year and a half that we've been open, we've been able to make over $16,000 in revenue. We have a fully functioning website. Right now, we're selling mostly at a Lorenzo Walker, but we're hoping that soon we'll be able to have a jewelry cart or something where we can sell in person.
Nice. And just to point out, Lorenzo Walker is their school where they are in the entrepreneurship program, and they've been a great asset for them to get the resources they need to start this business. So Alexa, let's hear your pitch for 60 seconds.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Alexa Tercero. I'm the co-owner of Fair for Everyone alongside my business partner, Sofia Garcia. We are a jewelry business. At Fair, we have multiple products such as necklaces, earrings, rings, and bracelets, as well as accessories like sunglasses, hair clips. And within the business, we have made over $16,000 in revenue for the past year and a half. We strive to bring out the aesthetics within each teenager or young adults because us as teenagers ourselves, we know how it is for the style and for fashion, and we want to bring that out for people themselves. We also have a website, which is at fairforeveryone.com, and we market our business on social media and TikTok as well.
Nice job. Well, I should point out that these girls were chosen to be in a pitch competition this summer. Why don't you guys tell us about that pitch competition and how it kind of worked?
So it was a part of the incubator program, which is an entrepreneurship program that teaches entrepreneurship across all sorts of schools. It was started out of in the US. I think it was started in Illinois. And now it's an international program that's in Spain, Australia, various different places. They have a national competitions for the US students, and the top 5 teams perform. Everybody pitches their business. The top 5 teams that are chosen go to Chicago. They pitch their business in front of a room of investors to try to win $15,000 money. And we didn't win, unfortunately, but we did get to sell a lot that day. And I think it's still one of our best selling days on record. And we got to make a lot of important networking connections.
For sure. It was definitely an experience for us. Presented in front of over 200 people, especially being live as well, and meeting a lot of people, these connections, lifelong connections that will help us within our own business. And we did receive a lot of advice for our own futures, our personal lives, and for the business as well, which is very beneficial for us because we can use it for absolutely anything within our lives. And it's just really great that we made these connections and got to meet a lot of people. And it was just an overall great experience.
When you first started out in your entrepreneurship journey in your program, were you guys that comfortable with talking in front of a crowd that you would have been like, hey, I can go pitch it to a crowd of 200 or 400 or whatever it was?
That's a trick question because I feel like what we talked about, we definitely had to learn. We definitely had to learn our stuff and learn our stuff about our business. We wouldn't have been able to just do that without practicing a lot. But I think for the most part, Alexa and I have always been at least a little bit comfortable.
Yeah. Within our personalities, we're kind of comfortable with talking to people. Also, because when we were in middle school, we did like news crews, so we kind of had that sense of experience as well. But it was something that we've never done before, is presenting in front of that large amount of people. But it was something we just had to get comfortable with within our own business and just show our personality out there while we were presenting.
That's good. You know, when we do the Biz Kids events, probably one of the hardest things for kids to get comfortable with is actually pitching their idea and telling their customers what they're selling. So I'm glad that you guys felt comfortable right away to be able to have that interaction and talk to people and share what your vision is. That's great. That's a great experience, and that's what we want to encourage other kids to do is get out of that comfort zone of like being scared to talk to people. This is a way to really kind of loosen that up and get out there and actually get the practice to say what you're trying to sell or what you're trying to make or and get that communication skills honed in. Now let's go back in time a little bit. What was the first business idea you guys ever had? Was it the jewelry business, or had you guys been doing stuff as younger children to kind of lead up to this?
So within the business, we started off as a gift boxing business. Within the gift boxes, we were going to do stuffed animals, jewelry still, and candles. But we noticed that it was a lot of labor and a lot of hard work to put into it. And not just that, we realized that the people like the jewelry more. So that's when we decided to pivot from that business idea and go on to just continue on as a jewelry business.
Yeah, Fair itself definitely pivoted from what we originally thought it would be. From our own childhood, I would have to say any memory of like selling or any business or anything would just be like small things from elementary school. I think when I was in the fifth grade, a friend of mine, she was making like slimes in these little tiny containers and packages. And they actually started to ban them at the school because we were selling so many of them and kids were just playing with them in class. So we'd like sell them like from backpack to backpack and stuff like that. But that would have to be my first recollection of having like a tiny mini business. Do you have?
Well, when I was also in elementary, I would sell the rubber band bracelets. I was pretty popular just making those. Yeah, that was just something that started off from there, but just business overall, I think it was always just within me personally. Yeah.
And you guys didn't stick with slime? Slime was a good seller. You could have added that to your business.
It was a great seller. It was a great seller. Unfortunately, our teacher got upset and they said no more. We did what we could. We sold the slime that we could, but that definitely took a part of our market, I'd say.
So I don't know if you guys knew, but when you guys did the last event with us in Cape Coral, we had a girl that came on Sunday that wasn't there on Saturday, and she sold slime. And just on Sunday, she sold over $650 worth of slime. And that's all she was selling. Yeah. So, but she had a brother that was out in the crowd, like pulling people in, talking to them and getting them to the booth. So she did have a little bit of tag team there going on. But yeah, I couldn't believe $600 of slime in one day. And it was a rainy, cold day too. So what do you think drew you to entrepreneurship? Like what was the thing that you said, hey, I want to pursue this?
Me personally, I originally didn't have any plans of pursuing entrepreneurship. I did do an entrepreneurship class in middle school. I didn't enjoy it. Not because entrepreneurship isn't enjoyable, but because of the way that it presented the class. Entrepreneurship, I think a really cool part of it is being able to focus on something that you're passionate about or that you care about or you'd like to sell. And in that class, we were kind of just like forced to sell whatever. So like, you don't really care about what you're selling about at that point. For me personally, I was planning to go into the legal field at Lorenzo. But when I visited the business class and the legal class, I entered the business class and I saw people talking. There was mentors, they were making connections. You could see things were moving and it was active. I walked into the legal class and you could hear a pin drop. It was completely quiet in that class, silent. And I was like, that's not the ambiance for me. So I tried business out and I liked it so much more. It's social, it's active. You're constantly making connections with people, talking to people, learning from others and their own mistakes, which for me was something I really enjoyed. So just the overall environment of what the nature of business is what drew me in, I think.
Me personally, I feel like what drew me into entrepreneurship was that it matched my personality. I feel like I'm a very social and extroverted person, very energetic, and I love to talk. It would get to the point where sometimes when I was younger, they would tell me to stop talking. So seeing that within this classroom, everybody was just engaging and making these connections with each other. It just felt really genuine. And that's something I've always strived for, to have genuine friendships with people and make these really cool, close connections with them. And having that advice from people that I know I can look up to, because many times in middle school it'd be very hard to find those people, and knowing that I have it right there within 3 hours a day each time I go to school, right there in front of me, I feel like that was something that I really would appreciate, and I do appreciate to this day. And that's just something that always just drew me in within entrepreneurship, as well as because I really like style, really like fashion, and to help people out with that, I felt like entrepreneurship was just a perfect way to draw that in as well.
Yeah, we are a bit of a unique case because of the school that we go to. So it was more of a, we did get the chance to choose entrepreneurship instead of just like discovering it. But I think it's definitely put us on the right path, a different path.
And definitely you can also focus on what you like to do. It's not just assignment after assignment. It's the business is like your baby at some point. You're just kind of taking care of it, working on it, and putting your time towards something that you actually genuinely like.
Now, when you first started in the business, in this business, what was something that you thought this is absolutely going to be the best? Everybody's going to love this, and it turned out being no one loved it, or it didn't go off as the way you thought it was going to be.
I'm gonna take one here. We had a point in time last year where we were bringing out enamel pins and acrylic pins, and they were the cutest things. There was really beautiful, like intricate pins, or they were really cute, like bunny ones or bear ones. And we actually brought them out because of demand, because we had people asking us for them, and they were selling really well. But all of a sudden, we looked back on our books that month, and we realized that we had half the usual revenue that we make every month. So, which was confusing to us because we were selling a lot, but we were not making as much as we usually do. So what we found out is when we were selling the products, I think it was for like $1 to $3, $4, and putting it in the middle of our table. And somehow that's actually so influential. When people look, the first thing they see at your table is how they're going to associate your table. So that we realized that by having that in the middle there, it was actually halving our profits. So we moved it out of the way, and we put some of our more expensive or more intricate pieces in the middle, and then we started to bring our revenue back up to what it usually was. So I think that was definitely an unexpected, and I thought the products would sell well. They were selling well, but they were actually hurting us in the long run.
Another thing is when we were first starting off with the gift boxing business, we thought that everybody would love the candles or the stuffed animals. But the candles, it was very hard to get the scents like very strong. So we realized a lot of people weren't liking it because, of course, everybody wants a strong scented candle, and we couldn't really provide that for them. So it just kind of took a turn on us, and that's when we decided to just move away from that and start with something else.
Nice. And what we always teach in our program is celebrate the failures. So sometimes when you see those failures happen and you're like, oh, now I get why that didn't work. That's where you learn the most lessons. So never get discouraged that, hey, my sales were down that day. Just look at it and say, why were my sales down that day? And then change something to see if it's going to affect it. And obviously you guys identified what the problem was, and you felt busy because people were buying, but that was all it was, is it was just busy work to get the little stuff out when you could actually make a bigger profit selling the other stuff. What do you guys average in sales at one of our markets?
At one of your markets, I think it depends on the location, and it depends on the day. But I'd say in Ave Maria, we can usually make like $200 to $300.
But Cape Coral
was 700 plus day.
700. That was a great day.
And every event is different, and that's business every day can be different as well. And depending on what crowd is there, who the customers are, is going to determine that. Our Cape Coral event, I think there was over 60,000 people that came through that event over the weekend. So not everybody saw your booth, but the one you do get a bigger range of people coming to it, versus some of the smaller community events where we only get 1,000 people out there at a time. So you have to kind of gauge that and figure out what are the best options for me. Where do I want to spend my time in trying to find the customers? You guys said your biggest day was at your pitch day. How many people were there?
It was, oh wow, it was over Definitely 300. It was a big event, but
But it was a large event, but
yeah,
it was a small room. So I'd say it was
yeah.
probably like 300 people,
300.
250.
Yeah. But because we were the only business that was actually established and selling, that's why we drove like a lot of customers towards us, because all the other businesses, there were just ideas. So they were starting up, trying to get their idea out there, while we were already a business that was up and running.
Nice, nice. Always good to be ready, and when the crowd is there and their pockets are full of money and you can get into it. So that's great. What piece of advice would you give to kids about like starting a business? Oh,
Me
that's a hard one, huh?
personally, yeah. I feel like if you want to start something of your own and you're creative and that's just the type of person that you are, I feel like you should just do it. Just don't let anything get in your way, because in life there's always going to be, you're on a certain path and there's always going to be rocks on that path, but there's obstacles getting in the way. You just have to jump over, push it to the side, and just keep going forward. A lot of times people might disagree with your ways. For example, with us, people didn't like the name Faer, or they weren't sure what it meant, or because they couldn't understand it at first, they felt like we needed to change it. But we stayed true to ourselves and just said, this is what we want. This is how we want to represent ourselves. So we decided to continue on that way. And I feel like that's something that's really important for society overall, is just to stay true to themselves and understand that not everyone will like what you do, but as long as you like it, then that's okay, because you will never succeed if you don't like what you do.
Yeah, I think I'm going to piggyback off of Alexa a little bit on this one here. I think a very important thing that you have to understand as you go into build your own business is who you are, things that are important to you, things that you enjoy, but more importantly, your strengths and your weaknesses. So Alexa and I, we're like exact opposites in
Yeah.
business. I like doing tech. I like organizing things. I like setting things up and learning how they work. Alexa likes to market things, design things, make them, like attractive to the human eye. And that's very important, is when you're in business, you have to know what you're good at. So that if you don't know how to make your website, or if you're not very good at bookkeeping, you can at least try learning it, watching some YouTube videos about it, learn to talk to somebody who can teach you about it. So then you're just not falling through the cracks in your business.
Exactly. And to always reach out if you need help. And what's great now is that we also have this Biz Kids Hub now, where we can go onto the web. We'll help all the children see what they can do so that they can feel like they're not alone.
Yeah, use your resources and talk to people.
I love it. You even plugged us. That's a great. You're hired. I'm hired. So what's next for both of you? Like I know you guys are graduating here shortly, and you guys are heading off to college. What's the big plan, direction, path you want to go?
Both of us would like to study business. I think Alexa is thinking about business marketing or business management. I'm thinking about probably staying in business management and analysis. We'd like to study at FGCU together. And if we want to continue the business, we can. If it needs to evolve into something else, if we want to start something new, we can. And we can apply what we're learning at the same time to what we're trying to build.
Exactly.
Now, the good news for you guys is I have a lot of people that are, or a lot of kids that are seniors that want to continue to do the markets. So we are actually going to extend the Biz Kids markets to age 20. So when you're in college that first couple of years and you still have the business and you want to make some extra money because things are really expensive as you become an adult, you can still do the Biz Kids markets. You just can't compete for the Biz Kids Expo money. That still is capped at 18, but you can always come out and for a weekend and make a few extra $100, which would probably come in handy as a new college student.
Excellent. You'll probably see us there.
Most definitely was.
So the one last thing, I always like to know what your big crazy goal is. Now, not just your, hey, I'm going to start a business, or hey, I hope to run this business. What is your big crazy goal? Do you want to have a business that's nationwide, worldwide? What is that big crazy goal that everybody tells you, oh, you can't do that, or hey, that's too big of an idea? What is yours?
That's a tough question here. I'm not sure.
I'll go ahead and go first.
Yeah.
I'd say for me, I mean, for both of us, our parents were immigrants. So something that you don't see a lot of is generational wealth. But when you walk into Naples, you see a lot of generational wealth. Something that I definitely like to do is at least establish a business that I could leave to my kids, to my grandkids, something that could be passed on along the lines, because it's so stable and just structurally set that it can just keep existing for generations. That would be my crazy goal for business.
Yeah, I feel
Brilliant.
like that's something that I could say that I would want to, just because I've always been the type of person who looks a lot into family, and I feel like if I can create this foundation for the generations that are to come, I feel like that would be really great to do. And even though it's a lot of work, it's still possible. I mean, we have met a lot of people who have done it, so it might sound crazy, but I feel like it's not crazy at all. Just put a lot of hard work and just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, even though we're a startup nonprofit, our big hairy goal is we'd love to have biz kids across the country and having these events all over in every city where kids can get involved and do entrepreneurship. That's my big crazy goal. And a lot of people are like, oh, that's going to cost way too much. You can't manage that. But I think everybody has to have that big crazy goal to be working for and working towards, so you're motivated to get up in the morning and do something that's going to change the world. Well, I greatly appreciate you ladies visiting with us today, giving us your insight. We will definitely get you up and this video onto the hub, and there'll be a section on there where people can actually make comments on the video. So if you have some good comments for them, or you have some questions, you can actually put the questions in there and they can answer those for you as well. So thank you, ladies. Have a great day, and we will see you guys next time.
Thank you.
Likewise.
Bye.
Thank you.